Dave, and I'm back for my next lesson on the CAGED system. Today, I'm just going to be dealing with 2 chords at a time. We're going to try and do a 2-5 progression up the entire neck 5 different ways. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play a 2-5 progression in the key of C. So that's going to be D minor 7 to G7. So notice where I'm starting. I'm in the open position. I'm using a D-shaped D minor 7. And I'm using a G-shaped G7. Obvious, right? But as we move up the neck, we want to be aware of the letter in the word cage. So as I move forward in the word, you'll know exactly where you're going to be. So if I start with a D-shaped D, and I'm spelling the word caged, I'm at the end of the word. So then the next shape is going to be C-shaped. So here's the D minor 7, but I'm doing a C minor shaped version of it. The G was G-shaped. So in the word caged, the letter E is next, so then I'm going to do the E-shaped version of the G7. So what I've got now is C-shaped D minor 7, and then an E7 shaped G7. So here's those two together. And if I put those two positions together, so you can hear I'm playing the same 2 chords, but it's climbing up the neck. And so as the rearrangement of the notes happen in the chord, it just kind of changes the melody. The highest note is changing each time. The inner notes are changing each time, so the bass line might change. All right, so let's go to the next one. So if I just did the C-shaped D, then I'm going to go to the A-shaped D. So now here's my A minor 7 shaped D minor 7. And then the G, the closest, right after the E-shaped, is then the D-shaped. So it's right below me. So here was the D minor 7. The G is right here, D string, D-shaped. So those 2 chords. I'm adding a little style when I'm demoing these, right? I'm like sliding into the chords. I might talk about sort of technique things another time, but just to sort of show you how you can put this stuff into context. All right, so this first 3 positions, we got D minor 7, G7, D minor 7, G7. Oops, sorry. D minor 7, G7. You get what I'm doing. I'm saying the same 2 chords every time, but I'm just climbing up the word caged with those shapes. All right, so let me continue. We had an A-shaped D to a D-shaped G. So the A-shaped D, caged, is G-shaped. So here's the D minor 7 and the G formation when we do these caged minor 7s. Then the G was D-shaped, so it becomes C7 shaped. Okay, so those 2 back to back. So this one, it has the biggest spread, but this is still within the 5-fret thing that I've mentioned in some other videos, that you can play every chord that exists within 5 frets, so this still is valid. All right, so to recap from the beginning, okay, so I'm at D minor 7 all the way at the bottom, G7, D minor, C-shaped, the G is E-shaped, D again, A-shaped, G is D-shaped, the D is A-shaped, the G is now C. Okay, and if we continue, if the D was A-shaped, we're not going to move, was G-shaped, it's not going to move to E-shaped. The G was C, so now it becomes A. So here's those 2. All right, so to connect these all together. And right now, I'm back at the beginning. I just did E-shaped in the A-shaped G, right? So the E-shaped D is going to go to the D-shaped D, which is where we started. And the G was G7. If I just did the A-shaped G7, then G7 is the next G7. Notice when we move, again, if it's not the open position, it's a little tough to get these bass notes, so we just do the top 4. All right, so here's all of them connected. I'm gonna do from the bottom all the way to the top, the octave of it, all right? I'm gonna do a slow little funk thing. All right, I hope you get the idea, okay? So like I'm doing a funk thing, this could be a jazz thing. The style is kind of up to you, so like feel free to change sort of the rhythm. Again, this is about the shapes. So anytime you've got 2 5s, like notice you can stay in the same place and find every version of the chord. All right, so I hope you get the idea of how to connect these together, right? So it's like 5 sort of unique ways to put it together, but then mix and match it, right? So like I might just do the G that's here and do the D that's over here, or do the D that's here and the, like, feel free, right? There's 5 ways to do it. You don't have to stay in the one place. I would encourage you to do it that way because it's just a really nice sort of streamlined way to kind of play stuff. But jump around, be creative about it. This is about giving you variety. So when you play with somebody else and they are stuck because they only know the one shape, you've got 4 other choices to move yourself around, okay? All right, so in the next lesson, I'm gonna do a 2-5 again, but not in a major key. We're gonna do it in a minor key. So it's gonna be minor 7 flat 5s, half diminished, going to dominant. So if you wanna get ahead of me, feel free to do that. All right, I will see you in the next lesson.